2 days have passed since Israel launched a preemptive attack on Hezbollah, the Lebanese-based terror group, in the early hours of Sunday morning Israel time. Since then, more extraordinary details have come to light that you may not have seen be reported in the mainstream media. So let's start with the cold hard facts. Based on Israeli and US intelligence, the Iranian-backed proxy was set to launch a large-scale, imminent attack on northern and central Israel. At least 2 major Israeli military bases were said to be targeted. Gliot is one of the central bases of Army intelligence and Mossad HQ, and Ain Shemer, an airbase. But Israel mostly thwarted the attack. Of the approximate 230 rockets and 20 UAVs fired at Israel, the vast majority were intercepted by the Iron Dome and other means. This number is just a third of the estimated 600 projectiles that Hezbollah was set to launch. Here are 4 key things that you may not know about this recent escalation. Number 1, like Hamas, Hezbollah places its terrorist infrastructure in the heart of its civilian population, while using Lebanese citizens as human shields. Over the past few hours, the IDF has released imagery and more information about Hezbollah's launch sites. 90% of its projectiles will launch from amongst the civilian population, near schools, mosques, and UN compounds. 2, Israel's response was one of the most sophisticated air attacks to ever be conducted in just one day. Israel discharged around 100 IAF fighter jets into Lebanon, attacking 270 targets simultaneously, said to have wiped out thousands of missile launches. Now stop for a second and consider the level of coordination required to execute such synchronicity. Further, Israel achieved a 90% destruction rate. This is very high, especially considering the level of technical complexity required. What does this pinpoint accuracy indicate? Exceptional, high-level intelligence. 3, Israel prevented a regional war. Let's think about what would have happened if Hezbollah had successfully achieved its aims, raining thousands of rockets upon the civilians of Israel while they slept, and hitting major military bases. Analysts believe it may have coerced or gaslit Israel into a major response. This quite possibly would have escalated into a full-scale regional war, where Iran likely would have stepped in. Number 4, Hezbollah is peddling a false narrative of victory. Despite Israel's ability to not only significantly contain Hezbollah's strikes, but also make strategic gains, Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah tried to publicly convince otherwise. He said the group's attack had been completed as planned and caused great disruptions inside of Israel. Nasrallah also accused Israel of lying. He trivialized the IDF's preemptive strike as a raid and denied it destroyed Hezbollah's ballistic missiles. Why? Honor, pride, to save face. Even the people in the region know that Nasrallah is lying, with many Lebanese civilians taking to social media to ridicule and mock him for his grandiose claims that strategic targets were hit, when in fact, one of the most reported strikes was on an Israeli chicken coop. So what happens now? Hezbollah has already announced that there'll be a second wave of attacks from another so-called axis of resistance country. Whether there's any truth to it or it's more puffery will remain to be seen. However, Hezbollah has already continued with their daily barrage of rockets against Israel, now numbering in excess of 8,000 since it declared war on October 8. So while this recent escalation may have been contained, the northern threat still exists. All the while, 65,000 Israelis remain displaced and would desperately love to go home.